Thousands of commuters in Gauteng were left stranded today as taxi operators affiliated to the National Taxi Alliance went on strike. Members of the association marched to the offices of the Department of Transport and to the union buildings to hand in their memorandum. Spokesperson for the Alliance, Theo Malele, and Impact Area Manager for Transport and Operations at the Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, Dr. Mateta Mukonyama, are joining me now to talk about the impact of the strike. Gentlemen, good evening and thank you very much for your time. Dr. Malele, I will begin with you. There is no doubt that indeed the strike has caused major disruption on the roads. The unfortunate part, though, is the violence and the destruction to property that we have seen. What's your comment to that violence?
Good evening to you, and good evening to Dr. Mateta Mukonyama, and good evening to your viewers. Basically, it emerged that some of the people that were seen to be participating in today's deliberation were not necessarily members of the National Taxi Alliance. This emerged as one police officer nabbed one person that was seen to be acting violently. So it is just a pity, though, that when this march was agreed upon by the city of Tshwane, we had sat down with even security clusters to map out on how this march will be carried out. So it is just a pity that management of these crowds has slipped through the fingers of law enforcement agencies, and for that we really apologize for having caused such inconvenience to the public. And then again, we had made these announcements as early as Friday last week that we will be embarking on this activity today. Once more, we have been failed by your good self and media houses, because you were the first to be notified, my good self, that there will be such an activity, and one would have assumed that you would publicize this so that the public at large gets informed, even though we had also taken strides in ensuring that we try and popularize this through social media. Yeah. But once more, we apologize for any inconvenience that may be caused as a result of today's activity.
The Deputy Minister of Transport receiving the memorandum on behalf of the Minister today, promising a response within the next 14 days. You have hope that they will come back with something of substance?
We are hopeful that now that they have taken note that the NTA's footprint is national, as they were previously hoodwinked, that an NTA was just a small group of confused molecules. Now it's evidently clear that the NTA is an independent and autonomous body, and it is much greater with its numbers in terms of operators and taxis on the road.
Dr. Mukonyama, in terms of checks and balances, are we likely to see a collective voice coming from the taxi industry? You've seen today, the NTA saying, well, we wanted to make sure that our stamp is firmly placed on the ground, that the powers that be recognize that we're an independent body and we are able to stand our own. So these divisions in the taxi industry towards a more formalized taxi industry, how are these going to play out?
Good evening, Tabo. This has been going on for the past 20 years or so. Since the formation of Santaco, this rift between the NTA and Santaco has been going on for, 20 years is a very long time. So indications are that we are not likely to have that which is desired by the Department of Transport very soon. So it means that we need to do something a little bit differently, going forward. And I believe the solution will most probably come from the industry itself. It will not be a top-down solution. It's got to be a solution that, the industry itself says we want to go in this way, and this is, what we think will be sustainable for the industry.
Yeah. Essentially, the show of force today, Dr. Mokonyama, you're saying, shows a significant market share that belongs to NTA, and therefore they should be recognized not just as a minor player, but as a critical and a major player within whatever overarching body that the minister is trying to create.
Well, Thabo, the taxi industry plays a very important role, and we cannot undermine that. If you just look at the number of seats, right, that are available in all public transport, taxi industry probably has got around 3 million seats available that they make available. Buses, they probably give you about 500,000 seats, and then trains at the moment, they probably give you about 200,000 seats. So you can see that the bulk of the supply is with the minibus taxi industry. So by resolving that impasse, we are actually going to be resolving a major part of what is happening in the network. We cannot just let it go. It will not solve itself organically. It requires leadership, going forward from all sides, from the industry, from the ministry, and also the municipalities and the provinces. It cannot be something that this project, it cannot be something that you do it as by the way. You need to have proper project management capacity in national government, in provinces, in municipalities as well. Dedicated capacity to be able to see the implementation of that which we say we want to do. I mean, for the past 20 years, we've made a lot of promises. So right now we need to say, be serious about this, create sufficient capacity, dedicated capacity to implement that which we said we're going to implement.
Now, Dr. Malele, for you, what level of recognition, what kind of recognition would you want in this plan, this audacious plan that the minister has of creating an overarching, overlooking body in the taxi industry that ensures that people are formalized, people are legal, they adhere to the rules of playing the game? What part would you want to play in that body?
Yeah, well, let me respond by also, acknowledging what Dr. Mokonyama has just alluded to. The future of the taxi industry can only be decided by the industry itself. And what we envisage as the National Taxi Alliance, it's a similar body to that of the South African Council of Churches, where you have a council at national level, wherein structured with second people to represent their wishes and aspirations into that council, so that as and when they do not perform, we can always call them back to come, and replace them with relevant people that would push the organization's agenda going forward. So basically, what we want to see happen here is, be given, the respect that we deserve, because there's always been this speculation that the NTA was just a minor group of confused people. Yeah. Now, we have made it now abundantly clear that we are not that. We're not a bunch of confused molecules. We know what we want, and we know what we're doing, and we know what the future can be like.
Both yourself and Dr. Mokonyama in agreement that unity of the industry is paramount if any plan whatsoever is going to be in place and is going to work. So what I'm trying to find out from you is, what are the parts of difference between yourself and Santaco? What are the areas of difference where you are completely apart from each other?
Look, we don't operate the same way. We have milestones, but we still are to learn about their milestones. And it is also the minister, the manner in which he is attempting to transform the taxi industry. It is completely off the kilt. So what the minister has to do is to listen to both organizations clearly and treat them with the same respect, and stop treating the National Taxi Alliance as a stepchild of the taxi industry and treat us with total disdain.
Dr. Mokonyama, clearly the National Taxi Lekgotla did not work as a tool or as a remedy to try and bring about consolidation as far as consensus are concerned. What should happen now? I mean, I suppose whatever agreement was reached there almost is thrown into the water right now, and we need to go back to the drawing board and talk about some other way to bring about these consensus.
Yeah, look, the Constitution requires municipalities to provide, to plan properly, to say this is the transport services that we want in our municipalities, in our areas. Now, failure to plan and delegating that responsibility to the taxi industry has been at the heart of the problem. So municipalities need to say, in our area, we need these kinds of services, and say, you, the industry, we want to buy this, amount of, trips, kilometers, and so forth from you. Now, you need to organize yourselves to be able to respond. Now, you need to take a higher ground and say, I want to buy from you as the industry. Organize yourselves. Now, if we're going to then request the industry to continuously plan and come up with all sorts of things for municipalities, for provinces, we are always going to be in this impasse. So the starting point should be then that municipalities need to organize themselves and say, well, this is what we want from you. This is what we want to buy from you. It's not even about subsidy. It's about saying we want to buy this kind of service from you, and therefore, tell us what you can do with this, and then specify the quality of service that is required, and agree on a proper tariff for that service that is going to be provided by the taxi industry.
Dr. Mokonyama, appreciate your time. That's Dr. Mateta Mokonyama. They're helping us in that conversation. And Dada Malele, does this mean that things go back to normal tomorrow in terms of taxi operations?
We're going back to normality tomorrow and await for a positive response within 14 days from the powers that be, and failing which we will be left with no other option but to take a decisive action, and this time we'll go the litigation route.
All right, the national spokesperson for NTA there, Theo Malele, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us tonight.